Our guest today is Rabbi Sivan Malkin Maas, Dean of the International Institute for Secular Humanistic Judaism, Tmura, Israel. Hello, Rabbi. Thank you for being with us.
Shalom. Hello.
The Parsha is Haazinu. We are discussing the Parsha that is read on the Shabbat right after Rosh Hashanah. Haazinu is the Parsha before the last Parsha of the Torah, and it is a work of poetry. Calling heavens and earth as witnesses, Moses exhorts the people, remember the days of old, ask your father and he will recount it for you, what God did for the people. Moses warns against the pitfalls of plenty and foretells the calamities that would come. In the end, though, God will be reconciled with his people and the land. The Parsha concludes with God's instruction to Moses to descend the summit of Mount Nebo, from which he shall see the land opposite you, but you shall not go there into the land which I give to the children of Israel. The first pasuk of the Parsha says, Haazinu hashamayim va'adabera v'tishma haaretz imrei fi. Listen, O heavens, and I will speak, and let the earth hear the words of my mouth. So, Rabbi, this is my first question. The Parsha is called Haazinu, listen. But Moses is speaking to the people for the last couple of days or weeks. Why would he ask them to listen now?
Well, I think that Moses is aware of his upcoming death. And this could have started like a Gabriel Garcia Marquez's novel, Chronicle of a Death Foretold, saying on the day they were going to kill him, Moses got up at 5:30 in the morning to wait for Joshua, the military leader, etc., etc. But he chooses something else. Deuteronomy is his chronicle of what went on in the first 4 books of the Torah. This is Moses telling his story, the way he wants everyone to remember him. Now, Moses was never modest. Moses, when he talks to the world. He talks to the sky, he talks to the land. And this is the Haazinu that he talks about. He talks to everything, to everyone. Judaism does come with a manual. And this is Moses' manual to live, how to live a better life. These are his instructions for living the good life. That these specific chosen people were chosen to live by these rules. So it is very important for him to tell them, listen to me. Now,
is he talking to the people or to the heavens? He says, listen, O heavens, so maybe
yes, he says, listen, O heaven, but he says, then the land will hear.
Right.
In other words, all the universe, including you people, hear. And then, because he's going to die, he wants to tell them that he is their leader, their legitimate leader, chosen by them. He says, if you remember at the beginning of Deuteronomy, in the first chapter, he says to them, when I spoke to you, and I was not able to bear you myself alone, he then continues to explain how they end up choosing wise men full of knowledge to take over him. It is not Jethro, it is them.
Right, there is a difference between the version we have in Deuteronomy and the earlier version in the Torah of this story.
That's right, because this is Moses saying to them, remember me as your legitimate leader. Now, why is it so important for him to claim that he is their legitimate leader? Because if he's their legitimate leader, then his demands are legitimate. And if his demands to be a righteous people are legitimate, then they will accept him. Because if not, they could still continue to question and to say, okay, so God chose you, but what about us? Where do we come into being? You're going to be leaving us. And he says, no, you have the power. Just as you chose me as your leader, you can choose now to abide by these rules. And if you abide by these rules, then you will have a good life.
Is,
If
is this
not,
is this
you
a
will die.
demonstration of confidence just before he leaves, or maybe there is insecurity here? He's not sure what they're going to do after the departure, and then he has to re-emphasize or reinstill in them the fact that he is their true leader.
I think you're right. I think he understands all the time that we are a people of choice. We make choices all the time. There is as you mentioned before, we're just about to finish the 5 books of the Torah, and in Simchat Torah, right after Sukkot, at the end of Sukkot, we're going to restart reading the book of Bereshit, of Genesis. Yeah. And there again, we meet this character. Her name is Chava, and she is also a person that we learn that she understands the meaning of choice. She looks at the tree of knowledge and she says to herself, or to the snake, or to herself and the snake, look at this tree. This is the tree of knowledge. This is the tree that will make us wise. And what does wise mean? Is our ability to know, to discern good from bad, right from wrong. Now, this is the history that Moses knows. This is the history of a people that belong to the humanist race. And these are the people of choice. Now, he says to himself as a leader, I know that you have made mistakes in the past, that you can discern from good and bad. And this is why I tell you now, listen, remember what is good for you and try to abide by these rules, because if you abide by these rules, then life will be good for you. Instead of reading what death is all about, read what life is about and make the good choices. I'm about to die. I know that. I'm about to die not being able to fulfill my dream, but my vision was creating a people, and I have done so. So listen to me, Haazinu, and make sure that you live a plentiful life, a life of joy, a life of justice. And this is why he tells them, listen to me, I will remind you. He doesn't say, let's start from beginning. This is not your beginning. This is a continuation. This is a continuation of a good life.
Right,
Now,
and there's of course great significance to the fact that we always read this parsha between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, right after Rosh Hashanah and before Yom Kippur, right?
That's exactly, this is exactly the significance, I believe, of this parasha, because this parasha talks about choice. We always read about being the chosen people. I don't know if we were or we weren't, but I do know that we are a people of choice. We are Jewish by choice. We make a conscious choice to stay, to be part of Jewish culture, to celebrate our ability to choose. Listen, we are just about to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, but we're just about to celebrate Yom Kippur. We always feel that this is a time in which agony takes a first place. It isn't. This is a very optimistic time in life. Think about it. We wish each other a good year, and all we have to do for it to be a good year is to think about what we did wrong, to better our lives, and then our year will be beautiful and will be good. And this is a very optimistic approach to life. This is the time that we claim our ability to choose right. And instead of saying, Haazinu, this is a chronicle of a death foretold, we're all going to die, we know we're all going to die, but let's talk about our choice. Let's talk about what we believe. We believe in the equality of all people. We believe in the uniqueness of each and everybody. We believe that Chava had the capacity to distinguish right from wrong, and she is the one that made the entire race of people being able to discern right from wrong. She was probably punished, but we earned this ability not to be sociopaths who cannot discern right from wrong. And this is our ability during Yom Kippur to do right. This is our ability to take the story. And it doesn't really matter, anyway, it doesn't really matter to me if this actually happened or it didn't happen. What it matters is that this has become a treasure of my culture. This is a part of my culture. This is a part of my calendar where I can reread the story, reread them, and know that just as I am going to die one day, the characters of the story all died. And they stopped and they said, Haazinu, listen, we can have a better future. So during Yom Kippur, let's internalize and think about what have we done wrong. And then during the next holidays, as we get closer and closer to Simchat Torah, when we restart reading the Bible, let's do it optimistically. And let's make sure that we create the chronicle of a good life foretold.
Well, beginning optimistically a new cycle of the Torah is definitely a message that I'll try to remember. Thank you, Rabbi. Chag Sameach and Shana Tova.
Chag Sameach, Shana Tova. Thank you.